Hello, my name is Carolyn King, and I will be talking about Brooksville today. We will be doing a community analysis of Brooksville, Florida. Throughout this presentation, I will be discussing the history of Brooksville and analyzing the structure, community, environment, and health-related resources in government in Brooksville. I also will be discussing different community and global issues. Brooksville was established in 1856 from two different communities coming together and calling themselves Brooksville. Brooksville was named after Preston Brooks, a congressman that physically attacked another congressman over slavery. Though this city is named after a violent person, it is a very peaceful and quiet community in today's times. Originally, this land was settled by the military, and a fort was built that was used as a trading post for its settlers. It was accessible through the Concord stagecoach line, but could not sustain itself here due to lack of water resources and was quickly abandoned and moved further south. This community is still a rural community with some small farms and lots of local businesses and history that is still being preserved and celebrated. Brooksville is mostly comprised of single-family homes with some smaller apartment complexes. There are many options for low-income housing for its residents, and Brooksville adequately meets its needs of its residents through the low-income housing and through the variety of single-family homes. Brooksville has many different options for public schools for its residents, with multiple options for elementary, middle, and high school. There are 3 different private schools and even multiple charter schools, giving its residents many options for its children's education. While Brooksville does not have its own college, there is a university within 5 miles and a community college in the county for its residents. Brooksville is part of the Hernando County Public Library System, with its main headquarters located in Brooksville and 2 other locations around Hernando County. Brooksville is home to many different historical buildings and homes and truly relishes its history and unique architecture through preservation of many of its buildings. It is home to the Hernando Heritage Museum and the Chinsagat Hill Manor House, which are rich in history from the area. There are approximately 8,000 residents in Brooksville. Recently, there has been a 21% increase in population, which is very common in Florida and surrounding areas of the Tampa Bay area. Most residents are 65 years or older, and about 17% are college educated. These statistics are fairly similar to surrounding areas, but the closer you get to Tampa Bay or Orlando, usually the more diverse and educated the populations are. The leading communicable disease in Brooksville is hepatitis A and hepatitis C. Hepatitis A has become an emerging issue in Florida as a whole, but especially in Brooksville and surrounding communities. Brooksville and surrounding communities actually have a higher prevalence and mortality rate than other parts of the country. Studies have been done to try and figure out why certain communities are experiencing hepatitis A more, and frequently it found that areas with less sanitation practices and lower education in regards to hepatitis A have higher incidences. Brooksville is not alone in this epidemic, unfortunately. The leading cause of death in Brooksville are cancer, heart disease, chronic respiratory disease, unintentional injury, and stroke. This is also very similar to surrounding communities. Brooksville is a fairly active community with various recreational areas and parks and many different bike trails. Not only are there many different parks where residents are able to walk, run, or bike, there are multiple community centers that have basketball, racquetball, tennis, soccer, and many other fields and activities available for its residents. There are multiple different bike trails and many different biking events held throughout the year that promote being active. The police in Brooksville are under the Hernando County Police Force and are adequately meeting their community's needs through response calls and many different outreach programs, including a youth program to get youth involved in the community and other different outreach programs for adults to better understand and trust the police force. The fire department has response times of 21 minutes on average for the last year, and that's pretty average for the area considering it is such a rural community. Waste is picked up by the county twice a week with recycling once a week. There's also a place for residents to drop off harmful contaminants for free. Air quality is rated a 27 or considered good on a scale of 0 to 100, which is pretty common for surrounding areas. Brooksville has a large quantity and variety of healthcare resources. Brooksville has 2 hospitals, multiple nursing homes, walk-in clinics, and other healthcare resources, such as behavioral health and home healthcare. With most of its population being older, this large number of healthcare resources is necessary to meet its community's needs adequately. Most of these organizations do accept many different insurances and are even geared towards Medicare since Brooksville does have such a large elderly population. With hepatitis A and C being the 2 most prominent communicable diseases in Brooksville, the need to increase immunizations and reduce preventable diseases is extremely important for this area. By actively following this Healthy People 2020 initiative, Brooksville can help improve the health of the entire community. Promoting health and reducing chronic diseases through diet and healthy body weight is another important and beneficial initiative for Brooksville to incorporate and follow due to the high number of deaths caused by cancer, heart disease, and stroke. It has been proven that obesity can increase your risk of having multiple comorbidities and increases your chance of developing a chronic disease. Improving cardiovascular health through prevention, education, and early identification can help reduce the deaths that are associated with cardiovascular disease and stroke. This is a very important initiative since so many of Brooksville's residents are affected by this disease. The City Council in Brooksville is the main governing body of Brooksville and contains the mayor and vice mayor. These positions are all elected by the residents of Brooksville and hold 4-year terms. The mayor is considered the head of the city government. The city manager is the chief administrative officer and is in charge of hiring government employees, payroll, and other administrative duties. All officials are easily accessible through emails on Brooksville's main government page. There are also weekly city council meetings that anyone can attend in person as well as watch online, live or taped. Different community issues that I think are important are listed here. The top one being cancer. Cancer is the leading cause of death in Brooksville. By promoting healthy behaviors and the quitting of tobacco and alcohol use, Brooksville can help its residents reduce the risk of getting cancer. While there are quite a number of different food options in Brooksville, there are not many healthy food options. There are mostly fast food chains or other restaurant chains that do not have many healthy food options or vegetarian options. This could definitely help attribute to the large amount of cardiovascular disease that is present in this community. By offering more healthy food options, Brooksville could help reduce its incidence of disease caused by diet. Brooksville is a small town with most of its residents still living a very rural lifestyle. It may be hard for certain residents to get around due to the lack of accessible public transport in the city. There is a bus system that travels throughout Hernando County, but it is very small and has a small route and is not always convenient locations and times for residents. Without transportation, residents face even more issues that can greatly affect their health if they are unable to receive medical treatment or help due to lack of accessible public transportation. Bike lanes, sidewalks, and well-lit roads are lacking on many different roads since Brooksville is such a rural community. This poses a huge safety risk for its residents. There are no higher educational institutions in Brooksville. The closest college is St. Leo University, which is a private college and not economical for most of Brooksville's residents. With a public college, there would be a push for higher education and would bring younger, well-educated people into the community and would truly benefit the community. Brooksville is a lower class town with most jobs being considered blue collar. There are no big factories or corporations to speak of, and most jobs are locally owned businesses. While the locally owned businesses are a huge plus in Brooksville, there is not a huge variety of employment opportunities that could help make a middle class income. This could be an issue for the community because it would prevent new residents from moving, or it would cause other residents to move away and would not keep good educated residents in the community, and there would be no good educated jobs in the community. So increasing employment opportunities could greatly benefit all residents. And here are my references.